Okay, good morning again. I videoed this first time through and then it would not upload. There was some sort of error, so let's hoping that this one does okay. This is your reading and writing instruction for the day. And can't remember if I told you the joke, but you know, there was a pencil that didn't do well on a test. Do you know why? He didn't get the point. Okay, enough humor. Today we are starting a new unit, Goodbye 382 Shin Dang Dong, and we have new spelling words, so we're going to start off with those. You have your family times, that is DVD page 310 and 311, and your spelling words are the ones that start with because. For this time, so go ahead and put your spelling words and your vocabulary words down here where it says practiced tested spelling words, so that you and keep this all week so you can study from it. The one thing we will not be doing today is the dictionary part. I think I overdid it last week with you guys, so like I said yesterday, we will not be doing more than 5 at a time, and today we're not going to do any. So please don't do those. I think I showed you the certificate of achievement. Maybe I didn't. And that is due to the work of Avery, Catherine, and Casey. They have been working hard, and this one says they have outstanding completion of 200 math questions. Good job, girls. That's on the IXL site that I gave you the information how to log in on that. And there's some real good reducing fractions and that sort of thing on there. So if you're having a problem with that, that's a great thing to use to practice on. So let's go with, we're doing our spelling words, and then you're going to do waterfall words for all 20 words. Same like we do every week, okay? Then you're going to do page 309. Let me get it. And it is labeled vowel patterns AU, AUGH, OU, and OUGH. So some of these you know, some you might not know, but this is going to divide these out into those different AU, OU, AUGH, and OUGH, those different sounds. And so hopefully that will help you understand how that sound is made and when and why and how. So, okay, now the math lesson, that's on another video, so you can use that when you're ready to do your math. Now you are to look in your reader at page 254 and 255. Those are the first 2 pages of this particular week, Goodbye 382 Shin Shang Dong. And you know how we always look at all the pictures and reading all the answers there, and what do you think this week's going to be about? So that's kind of a preview. Then you are to read page 256 and 257 in your reader, vowel patterns, and I can read. And you can read through those. You can do that. Then you are to do your reader writer notebook, page 338. Again, that's vowel patterns A, AU, AW, AL, AUGH, and OUGH. So they added a couple more in there. And 339 is sequence. So let's go over 338. There's sequence. There we go. And it says, your directions are to choose the word with the vowel sound in ball. Write the word on the line. So, aw. So, they, give you different words, and you are to choose the one that sounds like ah in ball. So, we moved because or when we wanted to live near family. Which of those, because or when, sounds like the sound in ball? It would be because. So that's how you do 1 through 8. And then on 9 through 15, write A, A-U, A-W, A-L, O-U-G, A-U-G-H, and O-U-G-H to complete each word. And then you write the whole word on the line to the left, and that's how you do 9 through 15. Okay? So then the sequence one is, here we go, Reader Writer Notebook 339. To tell the sequence in a story, the important events in the order in which they happened. So we know all about that, but read those first lines in the box up at the top, then read the story, and then you are to fill in the graphic organizer to show the important story events in the correct sequence, and then answer the questions. So you have events in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. And then you write those events in, and then you are to answer how did the words, the clue words, help you fill in the organizer above. You know those clue words, first, second, next, last, all those things. So you've got this. Now we're going to do read in your reader, page 258, 259, and answer any of the questions. The first page, 258, is sequence. So you go ahead and answer those questions. And then read 259, moving day. And you will answer the skill question, the strategy question, and this is to get you ready to read your selection, Goodbye 382 Shendang Dong, but that will be tomorrow when we do our first read on that. Let's see. You do your DVD Grammar Transparency 23, and let's go over that. I believe it's adverbs. And there we go. It is adverbs, and the first 5 questions you are to answer whether these adverbs tell you when, where, how, why, those kind of questions, okay? Because that's what adverbs are all about. And then on 6, 7, and 8, you join the 2 sentences together by using an adverb, and you might have to add ly, you might have to add est, you might have to add something to it. So for the first one we had, the boy wandered through the house, he was restless. So to put that together in one sentence, the boy wandered through the house restlessly. So that's how you work those and do those. And then writing is on page 282 and 283. Read all about free verse poetry. And then do your Reader Writer Notebook, page 340, which is not writing the poetry yet. It's just going through this to see what free verse poetry is all about. So at the top of the page, it gives you the features of free verse poetry, so read through those. And then answer the questions down below. Circle the last word of each line in the first stanza. Do these words rhyme? Well, you can answer that after you've read the poetry. Number 2, how are the line lengths in the second stanza different? Again, you can figure that out. Number 3, write the words in the third stanza that create a mental picture of hands playing the piano. So those are, you know, we've talked about the sensory things before that make it seem like it's really happening. So that's what they're wanting, the words that give you a mental picture of that. And then you do your daily fix-it 1 and 2 on, we're now on the sheet with Goodbye 382 Shin Dang Dong. And you do 1 and 2 on those, and I sent that sent the corrections to your parents. And then we're going to do some handwriting, H and K. We're going to do this all week. So it's in your packet in the plastic envelope. Practice H and K, that's both uppercase and lowercase. And I gave you examples, and practice those all week. And then when you're ready, there's a blank piece of paper in there. Go ahead and do a full sheet. I will need those turned in. Okay, those will go in your cursive notebook. And then you will read for 20 minutes and then tell your parents details about what you read. That's all about comprehension, so please keep them updated on comprehension. And right now, before we go, let me go over a couple of amazing words. You know, we do a couple a day. So let's do that. Let me get back there. Let's see what we have today. Almost there. All right. We have native, homeland, aspect, and advantage. So if you don't know what those mean, please look them up. Native, we use with Native Americans. Let me turn it a little. And homeland, that's a compound word, and that would be our homeland. Our homeland is the United States, but somebody else's homeland might be somewhere else, Poland or Russia or wherever. Aspect, it's a detail. And advantage, if you have the home court advantage, what do you have? Well, you're one leg up on the other guy, right? You've got something going for you. So let me read you, the teacher read aloud, and see if you can hear these words while I read. Welcome to America. Oscar grabbed his father's hand tightly as they stood on deck of their steamship, the Kaiser Wilhelm II. And there it was, barely visible on the horizon, their new home in Boston. Oscar wondered what America would be like. Would there be streets of gold? Wild cowboys? Oscar laughed to himself. He knew Boston was not like that. Oscar's uncle and his family had gone to America 4 years ago, and they had told them that Massachusetts was a lot like Germany. Its climate was similar, and even the landscape would look familiar. Still, Oscar felt that it could never replace the forests and woodlands of his native homeland. No new friends would ever take the place of his friends back home. No strudel would taste as good in this new land as the ones made in his mother's oven back home. Despite his doubts, Oscar was anxious to get there. They had been on the ship for 2 weeks, and the trip had been hard. Oscar's family was not wealthy, and they, along with 900 other passengers, had been crammed into the ship for the passage to America. There had been little to do, so Oscar's mother had taught him English the entire trip. As for the food, it had been awful, an insult to the taste buds. Oscar longed for the scrumptious sausages and potatoes that his mother made at home. But his mother had a completely different attitude. If this is what people in America were used to eating, her bakery in Boston would surely be a huge success. His mother's specialties were sweetbreads and flaky pastries. Being able to make money is only one aspect of our new life, his mother said to Oscar. You will get a better education and go to college. Don't forget that your father and I have an advantage over most immigrants. Your father is a skilled carpenter, and I am a master baker. Soon we will have a new life, filled with success and happiness. His mother was filled with confidence and enthusiasm, but to Oscar, America was the big unknown. Would he truly be happy there? Leaving the ship was a long, tough process, and the strange sound of English words swirled in and out of his ears. Even though he had studied the language for months, most of it still didn't make sense. Then finally his aunt and uncle found them in the crowd. Their German words of greeting settled over Oscar like a warm blanket of welcome. Oscar's two cousins stood shyly next to their parents. The boy Paul smiled at Oscar and handed him a hand-carved wooden toy. He said in English, "I made it for you. Welcome to America." For the briefest moment, Oscar felt happy. Maybe his parents were right, and America would provide a good life for them. Even Oscar knew that there was only one way to find out. What do you think that way was? Maybe to go do it? Yeah. Okay, so native. Where do we divide native? Native. Between the A and the T. What about homeland? Well, that's a compound word, so it's between home and land. What about aspect? Between the S and the P. Aspect. Aspect. Whoop, I overran my T. Advantage. So you have three syllables. Advantage. Ad, between the D and the V. Van, as in a van that you drive in. And then Tage, T-A-G-E. So between the D and the V, the N and the T. Advantage. Okay. God bless y'all. Don't forget to read your 20 minutes. Tell it to your parents, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.